Alright, a few weeks ago I sat down and watched Cult of Chucky. I was really excited to see a new entry in this Chucky series. And then I wanted to rewatch the other Chucky films. So I sat down and watched all of the other Chucky films, except for Seed of Chucky. I didn't feel like watching that movie. But I had a lot of fun sitting down and watching all of these films because I've only seen a couple of them about once or half of a time. So I was just so pumped on sitting down and watching all of these films because Chucky is one of the first horror movies I have watched, and I just adore the character and the story. So we're here today to rank the Chucky films, all 7 of them, from worst to best. I have a clear mindset of how I would rank these films after watching all 7. So let's start with the worst film, number 7, and that is Seed of Chucky. I will be honest, I did not watch Seed of Chucky when watching all of the other 6 films. I knew that this film is the worst Chucky film. The Chucky series is a fun series. It's a horror movie with a killer doll. We don't take it too seriously. But Seed of Chucky, instead of going with a horror-based movie with humor thrown out, it seemed to rely too much on comedic moments to drive this film. So much in this film just feels so completely unnecessary. With Redman and that Britney Spears scene, a lot of things in this movie just feel out of place and it doesn't feel like a Chucky film. We have Chucky and Tiffany and their son in this movie, and I like that dynamics, but the humor in this movie and the corny moments just really bog this film down to where it doesn't become a very interesting Chucky film. I don't even want to watch it. I didn't watch it. And it sucks because I really adore these movies. They're so fun, but when you have a movie like this that is so horribly bad, it's a disaster because I love Chucky movies, but this one is just so unbearably awkward to watch, and I just can't get by with some of the script and the comedic moments and how stupid it is written, and that's why it sits at number 7 as the worst Chucky film. It's also just a pretty bad film in general. Alright, coming in at number 6 is Cult of Chucky, the most recent Chucky film. This isn't a bad Chucky film. I just found some of the script to be a little bit quickly paced. I thought that the storyline was pretty cool. I thought the use of different techniques for Chucky were pretty cool. The gore was there, the voice of Chucky was there, everything about Chucky was awesome, but the movie also looked a little too clean for me. I like some of that darker look for Chucky, but this mental institution was just way too bright with its white color and it just didn't feel natural. Bringing back some of the other characters like Andy Barclay really didn't serve a purpose besides just having that character be in the movie. I felt like he didn't do much besides just be that name in this movie. I wish he would have done a little more in this film. I do think the character of Nika is a really great character, and it's fun watching her fend off Chucky. Like I said, my issues with this film is the script and some of its pacing, and I think that they could have done a little more with Andy Barclay. Alright, coming in at number 5 is Child's Play 3. Child's Play 3 is probably one of the films I have watched the least, and it's just a little boring, to be honest. There isn't much hype in this film. There isn't much scary moments for Chucky, and I do think that the ending is a little bit weak, ending it at a fair when the whole movie is taking place at a boot camp. I think they could have went a different route and ended it at a boot camp with Chucky and these young men at this boot camp. I felt like ending it at the fair and some of the Halloween rides was just because it's Chucky and it's a horror movie. This is more of a subtle Chucky film. He does all of his kills, but I don't feel like there's much hype and excitement going on for this movie. I just watched it and I just watched a Chucky film. That was okay. Nothing was crazy about this film. Nothing was thrilling. It's an okay film. All right, coming in at number 4 is Curse of Chucky. I watched Curse of Chucky upon its release and I fell asleep because it was like 2 a.m. in the morning. Not because it was a bad film, but I fell asleep. I was really tired and I never watched it after that. So here I am watching it again, I would say for like the first time, and I really really enjoyed this movie, and it reminds me a lot of the very first Chucky film. It takes a while for Chucky to kind of reveal himself to this family, and he does subtle things that people are starting to think, what's going on here? And I really like that moment, and I really like those moments because it adds that intensity level to the film. And you're thinking to yourself, when is Chucky going to fully unleash himself and kill everybody? I can't wait for those moments. And just watching those subtle moments are enjoyable. The look and feel of this movie is a lot different than its two previous movies, Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky, where they were just comedic, over the top, and just crazy with Chucky's look. So here it's a little more clean. It looks like the very first time we saw Chucky. And I'm not sure how he kind of got to the house, and they didn't really kind of wrap up the Seed of Chucky's storyline. But I really liked this movie because it paid homage to the first movie, and there was just a level of intensity throughout that I really did admire. And when Chucky talked for the first time to the young girl, it was very satisfying. Coming in at number 3 is Bride of Chucky. This is the first time where the Chucky movies just went absolutely insane. We had Jennifer Tilly playing the Bride of Chucky, and I absolutely loved that. She was someone who was as equally crazy as Charles Lee Ray, and they were a perfect fit. And even when she was the doll, it was just a perfect fit. This movie had all the cliches of a late 90s horror film with its rock music and its blood, and I think it fit in so perfectly. I think the addition of a new character was very needed because Child's Play 3 was a little tiresome, but the new character added a breath of fresh air to this franchise and just gave it a new life and something that was really needed. And they were a perfect pair, and I loved watching them to interact with each other and kind of team up together to kill the people. I do think that Katherine Heigl's performance in this movie is terrible. She's not a very good actress, and it clearly shows in this movie that she's really going nowhere in her career. Overall, I was really happy with Bride of Chucky. I thought it was a very crazy film, had a lot of comedic moments that really did work, and adding Tiffany to the role just gave this movie a breath of fresh air. Alright, coming in at number 2 is Child's Play 2. I had to think about this one a lot because I really like Child's Play 2, and I really like the ending of this film, the warehouse scene. It's one of my favorite Chucky moments. But this movie did lack a lot of intense moments, a lot of suspense moments in this movie. We know Chucky is already a killer. We already know who that Charles Lee Ray is inside this doll. So there is a lack of suspense and wondering if Chucky is actually real or not. But it's still a very enjoyable film. I do think that a lot of the kills are awesome. It is just so fun to watch Chucky be so completely angry with someone, and people that really don't believe Andy and think that Andy is crazy about Chucky, and then he kills them and they're like, oh, I should have believed in him, now I'm dead. Those moments are really fun, but the whole end sequence is what really carries this film. It is one of my favorite horror sequences and my favorite Chucky moment. So that leads us to the best Chucky film, and that is the original Chucky film, Child's Play. I've watched this movie a lot, and every single time I watch this movie, I just feel at ease. And it's a lot in the beginning where we might think that Chucky is a killer doll, but we might think that Andy is a little bit crazy as well. In those moments where Andy is saying that Chucky is saying this, and people aren't believing him, and they're just getting very upset, and where she's about to throw Chucky into the fire, and he just goes crazy on her. I love that moment where we get this clarity that, yep, he is a killer, and let's get this movie started. It is so fun. And the whole time up until then, it's a long time, it's a long period of time. It does a great job of building that suspense in those intense moments and building the storyline and building the character. And when they finally reveal that Chucky is a killer doll, it is absolutely insane. It is so fun to watch. A little tiny doll goes around and killing people. So it's fun as an audience member to kind of go along with Andy and trying to stop Chucky from this. I just love the intense moments. I love the suspenseful moments. I love Charles Lee Ray. I love the voice acting behind Chucky. It is amazing. It is so well done. And the kills in this film are outstanding. It is so fun to watch. So there you guys have it. All of the Chucky films ranked from worst to best. And I asked on Twitter, what was your favorite Chucky film? And the vote for the best Chucky film is Child's Play. So we all know that Child's Play is a really great film. Thank you guys, everybody who voted on that. If you guys would like to check out other ranking videos, a playlist link will be down below. How would you rank the Chucky films? Leave your thoughts down below. You guys are the best as always. This is Just Watch Movies, and you stay classy, YouTube.